So we just find out today that Warren Buffett, Michael Burry, and David Tepper all bought into United Healthcare. In fact, for Q2, Warren Buffett's largest position that he added to or bought was United Healthcare, around 5 million shares. This is a very big deal. I'm a very big United Healthcare bull. I've been talking about United Healthcare for the last few weeks on the channel. In fact, I just did a video recently on United Healthcare and went into what I think the fair value of the stock is. So I'll put a link somewhere up here and go check that out if you want to. But let's take a look at and talk about, Warren Buffett and United Healthcare. And Warren Buffett, one of the biggest value investors out there, he's trying to find companies that not only understands, but he feels that are at a very, very good value. When you look at Michael Burry, he has a very, very different strategy and mindset than Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett will buy and hold companies for a very, very long time. Apple, Coca-Cola, list goes on, has had those for a very long time. Where you look at Michael Burry, he tends to be kind of a more short-term trader. He's looking at, 3 months, 6 months, 9 months down the road, or even sooner than that, and then trying to find equities that are, low value that you can get a quick return on, right? And so you have Warren Buffett, long-term investor, you have Michael Burry, who's more of a short-term investor, and they're both colliding and deciding to buy this stock in the second quarter. Not only that, but according to Dataroma, so far there are 13 super investors that have bought into United Healthcare. This is a stock that is down 50% so far this year. This stock has been hammered. It's gone through anything and everything you can think of in the last 18 months. But to me, this is not the biggest news that came out with United Healthcare even in the last week. That's great that Warren Buffett bought, David Tepper, Michael Burry, and so on. But there's news that just dropped in the last week that there's a deal that just got approved by the DOJ for United Healthcare. And this is a 2-year battle with the DOJ, who just approved this acquisition by United Healthcare. It is for $3.3 billion and is for Amedisys, which is a home health and hospice provider. This deal, which is executed through United Healthcare's Optum division, marks a major expansion in its footprint in home-based care. And the reason why I think this is so important news is that they've been in the spotlight even recently. That the DOJ is looking into United Healthcare to figure out if they've had overpayments for Medicare, and potentially if they do, they're going to have to pay some of that back. And the DOJ has been in their business for about 18 months now. So for the DOJ to go ahead and approve this acquisition by United Healthcare, it makes me believe as an investor that I think things are going to be pretty good, or fine going forward. Not to say that the DOJ may not come out and say that there's overpayments, they got to pay some money back, but it makes me have a good belief and feeling going forward that it's not going to be catastrophic, as big of a number that maybe other people thought out there, like 10 billion, 15 billion, and 20 billion, and so on. So this is a really, really good thing, good news for United Healthcare and their investors overall. Not only that, but it allows United Healthcare to get into the home space for health. Healthcare is one of the most important, if not the most important, how people feel about what they want in their life. Obviously, family, there's politics, you have religion, all those things can be important to people, but health is usually number one or number two most important things to people. If you don't have your health, you just don't have a lot. If you're in pain all the time, you can't really function. And so health is really, really important, allows you to live longer as well too. And certainly United Healthcare helps with that, right? And not only that, but the healthcare space is supposed to grow at 7.4% per year on average over the next several years. And United Healthcare is the largest company in the space. You're talking over $400 billion and revenue for United Healthcare. And in my opinion, United Healthcare has been one of the best run companies over the past decade. Not only that, but I think it's important to note that Stephen Hemsley now has taken over as a CEO of of United Healthcare. This is a guy that ran the company up into 2017, then has been the executive chairman on the board. He has stepped back into the role of CEO, but he's really been the one that has helped build United Healthcare to be the behemoth it is now. And I think it's really important to note as well that his compensation right now is purely tied into the stock price. Yes, he gets a $1 million salary package, which is a ton of money. I get that. But you look at CEOs across the board, especially at the size United Healthcare is, that is a really cheap deal for the company. So instead, what they've done is they've allowed a huge stock package for the company that has allowed $60 million of stock options to be invested for Stephen Hemsley. So how the stock does over the next 3 years is absolutely critical to his compensation. So as an investor myself, I want to be aligned with the management team. If they're making money, I want to make money, and vice versa, right? And so, my belief is the reason why they structured it that way is Steve Hemsley said, hey, if the company doesn't do well, then I'm not going to get paid very well. Let's go ahead and make this deal. If the stock does well, the company does well, then I'm going to get paid for bringing the company back into where it was, right? And so as an investor myself, I think that is fantastic. So having Stephen Hemsley at the helm now, you're talking about this new acquisition that United Healthcare just made. And despite all the issues that they've had over the last year and a half, the company is extremely profitable. I mean, you're talking, even as bad as this year is, there could be around 6.5% of operating margins. Historically, their average has been around 8% on average for operating margins. But nonetheless, they bring in a ton of money, a ton of cash flow. Not only that, but just here recently, the company increased their dividend again. So it's a company that, even though all these bad things are happening in the market, investors are focusing on these bad things, there's a lot of great things happening within the company that I think is going to propel the stock going into the future. And again, go check that video out that I put the link below, and also in the description below too, if you want to see what I think the fair value of United Healthcare is, because I think it is trading at really good value, even though as I'm doing this video, is trading up 13% in after hours because of Michael Burry and Warren Buffett buying the stock as well. But I'm still a United Healthcare bull. Excited to see where this goes. Love to hear you guys in the comment section. Let me know what you think about United Healthcare and all these super investors, including Warren Buffett, buying into the company. Thanks for watching. Take care and God bless.